Great today. We have some interesting things to talk about today. So, as we do that, go ahead and settle in and get yourself something to drink because this one is going to be really interesting. Just a little conversation, and hopefully, it'll give you some things that are, kind of something to think about throughout the day. Let's look at before we get into this book, let's look at some Bible verses on time and supernatural travel, which I found very interesting. So let's look at Philip's teleportation. We'll call it that. It's in Acts 8, and that would be verses 39 through 40. And it says, when they came up out of the water, the Spirit of the Lord suddenly took Philip away. And the eunuch did not see him again, but went on his way rejoicing. Philip, however, appeared in Azotus and traveled again, preaching the gospel in all the towns until he reached, I believe it's called Caesarea. Now, Philip was instantly transported here. And that could be looked at as kind of a form of portal travel, right? And then let's take a look at this one, Elijah's whirlwind. It's in 2 Kings 2, 11 and 12. It says, as they were walking along and talking together, suddenly a chariot of fire and horses of fire appeared and separated the two of them, and Elijah went up to heaven in a whirlwind. So Elijah was taken up in a supernatural way here, bypassing normal human experience. And then we're going to get into some more of these at the end of this, but let's get on into Barron Trump's marvelous underground journey. The author is Ingersoll Lockwood, and the year this book is published is 1893. So the novel follows a young guy who's named Barron Trump, who discovers secret portals and embarks on an extraordinary adventure. Now, some people have drawn parallels between the character of Barron Trump, the son of President Donald Trump, due to, of course, the similarity in names. It is not a name we hear all the time, right? And certain narrative elements. These connections have actually been topics, and we're going to get into a lot of connections, by the way. But there have been topics of discussions among what we were all introduced to, which was QAnon, right? And the conspiracy theorist. It's important to note that these interpretations, of course, are speculative and not supported by evidence, but you will have to say, if you listen, there's a lot of connections. And I don't know, maybe you guys can comment and let me know what you think, but the narrative does not provide any factual basis. So it is a conspiracy theory, they say, and if you're interested in exploring the topic further, then I would suggest you read the novel itself to form your own perspective. And let's get into the connections that, like I said, are very, very weird. Additionally, there are analysis and articles that you can dive into if you just Google the conspiracy theory itself. But trust me, it will take and suck so many hours of your life away. So let's get into some interesting facts that are not conspiracy. Here are some of the most intriguing facts surrounding Ingersoll Lockwood's book and the Barron Trump time travel conspiracy theory. Now, if those of you who are listening are interested, I do have another video on the channel about the last president, also from Ingersoll Lockwood. So the conspiracy theorists and QAnon followers find that, they've discovered that this book was 1890. So that's over 100 years ago. Ingersoll Lockwood was an American lawyer and a writer, and he published a few books. Here are two of them. Barron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey, 1893. We're going to talk about that one today. And Travels and Adventures of Little Barron Trump and His Wonderful Dog Bulger, which we'll talk about in another video. But these books follow Barron Trump, who in the books, here's one of the interesting facts. He's a wealthy young boy who embarks on a mysterious adventure. Remember, this was wrote over 100 years ago. The name Barron Trump closely, of course, resembles Barron Trump, the son of President Trump, which is purely coincidental, but conspiracy theorists find it very eerie. Barron Trump's guide is named Don, which is also weird. Now, Barron Trump has a mentor named Don who helps guide him through his journeys in the book, and some speculate the parallels between Donald Trump's role as a leader, of course, and his dad, the Barron Trump we know. A book called The Last President, which I have another video on, was wrote in 1896, titled or it was 1896 to 1900, and that book is The Last President, same author, Ingersoll Lockwood, who was the, like I said, the lawyer. And the book describes a popular president in the United States who is not a politician but an outsider. The character's rise to power causes great unrest, which some believe mirrors Donald Trump, especially the first time he went. The book event, here's another very weird thing. The book's events take place in New York City. The opening scene of The Last President is set in New York City. Remember, here's so interesting. Over 100 years ago, this was wrote. It specifically mentions Fifth Avenue, which happens to be where Trump Tower is located today. In the book, the city's in chaos after a controversial election. The sixth really weird thing here is Trump's uncle, Nikola Tesla. Donald Trump's uncle, John G. Trump, was a physicist who had access to Nikola Tesla's research papers after Tesla died. At least that's what they say. Some conspiracy theorists suggest that Tesla's alleged time travel research was hidden by the government. Since John Trump studied Tesla's work, some believe this means Donald Trump and possibly Barron Trump could have knowledge to time travel. The seventh thing, the time travel conspiracy theory. These odd coincidences have led some theorists to believe that Donald Trump or Barron Trump might be time travelers. I know that sounds weird, but this is just what's out there. Ingersoll Lockwood's books were prophetic warnings about a future president. And Trump's family has access to hidden technology, possibly from Tesla's research. The number 8 thing, Ingersoll Lockwood's company still exists. A modern company named Ingersoll Lockwood, Inc. exists today and is involved in cybersecurity and national security consulting. Some theorists think the company could be hiding secret knowledge connected to Lockwood's book and time travel. With all these connections, and although they're fascinating coincidences, there's no solid evidence that Trump or Barron Trump are time travelers. I just was reading it and thought it was interesting, thought I would bring it to you guys, see what you thought. The fact is the books are there. However, there are very strange parallels continuing to fuel the conspiracy theories. And it's still going on today, these conspiracy theories. So the other fascinating things was the book was also not just wrote 100 years ago, but it was actually forgot for over 100 years. Barron Trump's marvelous underground journey and The Last President were virtually unknown for more than a century. They actually did not resurface until around 2017. When the online conspiracy theorists and QAnon followers discovered the eerie coincidences of the book and Donald Trump's family. The book features secret portals and time travel-like elements. In Barron Trump's marvelous underground journey, Barron Trump discovers secret underground worlds through mysterious portals. Some believe this suggests time travel and interdimensional travel, linking it back again to Nikola Tesla, rumored work on time machines. Barron Trump's personality mirrors a young Donald Trump. Barron Trump is wealthy and adventurous, and some say he's very, I don't want to say arrogant, but very intelligent, and similar to how Donald Trump describes himself, as what the theorists say. He also sees himself as smarter than others, which parallels Trump's own public statements about his intelligence. Um, the Last President character is anti-establishment. The book 1900, or The Last President, tells the story of a populist president who disrupts politics, much like Trump did in 2016. The president in the book is also not a career politician, and that's the Last President book, by the way, similar to how Trump came from the business background. And it does mention riots and civil unrest in it, and we saw a lot of that, especially happen his first go around. And the Fifth Avenue coincidence of the Last President was super interesting. And let's see. And Ingersoll Lockwood was the real lawyer with political ties. It seems like he lived from like 1841 to 1918. That was interesting. Some claim he may have had that inside knowledge of future political events, though there's no evidence of this. None of this has any evidence. It's all just a bunch of this connection to that connection. But the parallels are very odd. Actually bizarre coincidences. There's no proof. It's just something to kind of ponder and wonder about. There are theories about Barron Trump. And of course, again, back to that time traveling mystery. But the public now has the books. They're actually in the public domain. So check them out if it's something you're interested in. Come back, let me know what you think. I have not read all the books. I just thought it was very weird coincidences and some strange things. I do like to tie things, though, to the Bible, and I was just wondering what the Bible had with, like, any type of time travel thing. And as we mentioned earlier, and we'll just recap here, in Acts 8, 39 through 40. So it's Acts chapter 8, 39 and 40. It's Philip's kind of teleported there. It's kind of a weird thing. And then Elijah's whirlwind, 2 Kings 2, 11 and 12. John's vision of the future, Revelations 4, 1 and 2. After this I looked, and there before me was a door standing open in heaven, and the voice I had first heard speaking to me like a trumpet said, "Come up here, and I will show you what must take place after this." At once I was in the Spirit, and there before me was a throne in heaven and someone sitting on it. So here it does seem like John was somewhat transported into the future to witness a prophetic event. And then Paul's possible time or dimensional travel, 2 Corinthians 12, 2 through 4. And I'm sure there are many, many more. But that says, I know a man in Christ who 14 years ago was caught up to the third heaven. Whether it was in the body or out of the body, I do not know. God knows, and I know that this man, whether in the body or apart from the body, I do not know, God knows, was caught up to paradise and heard inexpressible things that no one is permitted to tell. So that is, again, 2 Corinthians 12, 2 through 4. And Paul describes here an experience of being taken to another realm that defies normal physical laws. But I will end it with what Paul said. I do not know if any of this stuff is just coincidence or just crazy conspiracy, but it is the talk out there right now. So I thought I would make the video and throw it out, see if anyone else had anything to add. And all I know is I'll end with a Bible verse, guys. Let's see. Let me see if I can find something that hopefully will speak to all of us. And while I'm pulling that up. Okay, here we go. Jeremiah 29:11. This one's always a good one. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you, not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. I'll end it there, guys. Thanks for spending a few moments with me this morning. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good day.